Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official college football week number 7 upset picks and predictions, predicting potential upsets for a very critical week number 7, and we begin with the big noon game. We've got Penn State traveling to Michigan. Guys, I said earlier in this week, I thought these teams were extremely evenly matched, and I still think that. So I've got Michigan by a field goal at home, the under 52 hitting, and it's a situation where it seems like the general consensus when it comes to this huge Big Ten matchup is Penn State is great value plus the 7. I know it says Michigan is 7.5 point favorites. I think that's been bet down basically everywhere to 7 or 6.5. Of course, because everyone thinks that, it's almost like Michigan's going to win by 10, but there does seem to be some consensus value on Penn State plus the 7. Personally, again, I think these teams are extremely evenly matched. When you look at both of their strength of schedules, very low. I think Michigan has the 95th best strength of schedule. Penn State is at 90, so neither of these teams have really proven much. That's why it makes this game so hard to pick, and that's why I continue to believe and treat these teams as equals right now, giving Michigan the slight 3-point edge because they are the home team. We know James Franklin has struggled with big games in the past. And also, the one thing I can't get over when it comes to Penn State, Sean Clifford. Can he actually make enough plays to win a huge game on the road? I feel like he needs at least 1 or 2 big J.J. McCarthy turnovers. Maybe Penn State gets a fluke defensive touchdown or something. This seems like a close, lower scoring game. Guys, one of the other things, it's been this weird trend with Michigan where when they play in these huge Big Ten games, it always seems to go over. For instance, you take a look last year, Michigan versus Ohio State. That game went way over. It was 42-27. Michigan and Michigan State, I loved the under in that game last year. That was on Halloween. We remember it was a total shootout. So it's an interesting trend, but this game is big noon. It's earlier in the day. Defensive battle. Sean Clifford, J.J. McCarthy, very inexperienced. Penn State coming off that bye week. They've got an extra week to game plan. Lower scoring game. I think Michigan, I wouldn't even call it that big of an upset. You know, if Penn State wins this game, I think these teams are evenly matched, but I will take Michigan by 3. The next potential upset, it's going to be Alabama traveling to Tennessee. And guys, I do think Tennessee does finally get it done and break through as a program, beating Alabama 38-35. Now, there still are people questioning, will Bryce Young play? Will he not? Guys, I'd say it's about a 99% chance Bryce Young plays. It's very clear Nick Saban's strategy. He probably could have played last week, but you look, you're 24-point favorites against A&M. You can squeak by and get that win without Bryce Young. Give him an extra week of rest. Make sure he's fully healthy or at least better going into the huge road matchup with Tennessee. Why do I like Tennessee? The reason I like Tennessee is their ability to generate explosive plays against Alabama. It's extremely hard to sustain 12, 13, 14 play drives where you have to convert 3 or 4 third downs. Tennessee and their offense can generate these massive plays. 2 plays, you're into the red zone. 1 play, you score a touchdown, 60-yarder, whatever. I like Tennessee at home. Their ability to generate big plays, it feels like it's right now for Tennessee at home. There's been something off about Alabama since the start of the year. I'm somebody where you got to prove it to me. Alabama and their receivers still have not proven it. And guys, there are a lot of people right now. It's another value play. It's Tennessee plus the 7. If Alabama blows out Tennessee, Vegas is going to make a ton of money because the smart money, the value right now is on Tennessee. You figure at home with the crowd, with the injury to Bryce Young, with the, uncertainty surrounding their receivers and the separation that they're able to create, there is legitimate value on Tennessee. I think the over-under in this game is like 63. I would take the over. I would take the over in that situation. The next potential upset, we've got NC State on the road at Syracuse. Of course, we have the major quarterback injury for NC State. We're watching Devin Leary. I believe this line has gotten bet down to 3.5 in favor of Syracuse. And guys, I do have NC State winning this game. Of course, the quarterback concern. We're not going to know anything until probably Saturday or tomorrow at the earliest because with these college injuries, none of these teams are going to disclose anything. It's a competitive advantage to keep the other team guessing on who you're going to start, things like that. It's such a joke, but they just don't have to disclose anything. I don't think we'll know until Saturday. But my major issue with Syracuse, guys, people seem blinded and surprised by their undefeated start. When you actually look into their start, they've had a very easy schedule. Very easy. Now you're facing an NC State team that has a good defense, that's more talented. They are on the road in the Carrier Dome. This is a 3:30 game on the ACC network. I will take NC State. I like their offense a little bit better. Of course, if the quarterback doesn't play, nobody knows what's going to happen. I can't predict a game with NC State's backup quarterback. I guess I would give the advantage to Syracuse, but anytime there's a backup quarterback, a situation like this, I would just say stay away from the game, because this is how college is. They're not going to disclose injuries or anything like that. The next potential upset's going to be Clemson traveling to Florida State. A lot of people, and I was surprised by this, loved Clemson when they opened -4. The line got bet down to 3.5. And guys, the major issue I'm having right now with Clemson football is their offense and the inability to generate big plays on offense. This game, it's going to be a hostile environment. It's 7:30 on ABC. I have not been someone that's bought FSU this year at all, and they have lost a few games. But FSU, in my opinion, is good enough to beat a Clemson team that really is still just not that explosive on offense. I know Clemson's won. They had the win against NC State. They beat Boston College. But still, guys, they beat Wake Forest. It's not enough. It feels like Clemson is due for a loss, especially on the road. And I've got it at 31-28 in kind of a crazy game. If Clemson falls behind early, this could snowball. I am expecting a close game. But again, it's a situation where you're going on the road in a hostile environment and you have an offense that is a little bit below average when you compare Clemson versus all the other elite teams in college football. And if these two teams played on a neutral field, Clemson wins 8, maybe 9 out of the 10 matchups. But this is at FSU. This is a night game. This is a situation where it's a very hostile environment. I will take FSU plus the 3.5 at home. That's where the smart money is, in my opinion. Next, we've got Washington State on the road at Oregon State. And guys, maybe I'm reading this game completely wrong, but I love I just think Washington State is better. And I know it's a situation where this game is basically a pick'em. Oregon State is -3.5 at home. But again, Washington State had a game against Oregon they should have won. They completely blew late. I understand last week the loss to USC, it lost a lot of people. People were in on Washington State plus the 14. Their offense looked dead after they went ahead 14-10, but I still trust Cameron Ward. You've got Oregon State, a team that has quarterback concerns, quarterback issues. Their backup quarterback started last week, I believe. And again, guys, maybe I got this completely wrong. They are on the road. It's going to be a crazy environment there at Oregon State for a 6 p.m. Pacific start time, 9 Eastern. But I just think Washington State is straight up the better team personally. And then we have the nightcap, this game actually at 8 o'clock. It is going to be USC at Utah. There's, a lot of people that love the value of USC plus the 3. Guys, I would stay away from that. I think that's a fool's bet. I think people are underestimating how good this Utah team is. Last week on the road, it was a little bit of an aberration in my opinion. Their offense was still able to move the ball. The defense will be significantly better. Now they come home and they're facing a team in USC that's gotten ridiculously lucky this year in terms of turnovers. You've got a guy like Caleb Williams who struggles sometimes to complete passes. It always seems like his completion percentage is in the high 50s. It's just not good enough, in my opinion. This USC team is ripe for a loss. I think Utah at this point is just the better team in general. They're -3. You're getting, I would say you're probably not getting them at a discount. Vegas knows that Utah is probably better than USC. USC is undefeated. Utah has 2 losses. If we're looking for some parity, it would be very surprising, in my opinion, if Utah had 3 losses. So I think Utah at home holds serve. It's going to be a rocking environment. There could be the letdown factor where there was an expectation going into this season for Utah that they were going to, quite possibly make the Rose Bowl minimum, possibly the playoff. Now with 2 losses, with that loss to UCLA, that's basically impossible, but still, you're at home. Your defense is going to play better. My major concern with Utah was more on the offensive side of the ball. And of course, they did lose their tight end. But guys, I still like Utah at home. USC has gotten lucky in terms of turnovers. And it feels like a fool's bet. Like, oh, USC is undefeated and they're underdogs. They're good value. But Vegas knows, guys, I'm telling you, I will take Utah to hold serve, win this game 31-24, force a few turnovers, and end up winning. So, guys, those are my official possible upset alert picks and predictions for college football week number 7. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.